Hey, what's up guys? This is Martin from Trader of the Day, and in today's video I am going to talk about today's bounce, recent bounce of the market, and see if this is something that's going to hold or fail. So I'm going to go over the market, the news, and really see how this is going to move forward, because we are oversold in the market. But again, I have a couple things that I want to cover that I am concerned about in the market, and I want to explain to you guys how and what that means for the overall chart and the movement of the S&P 500. All right, guys, so let's get started. So today there was a bounce. Now I did talk about I was looking for a bounce in videos prior, and I was looking for some sort of hammer around this area, the 260 area, which we did get this hammer right here, but with high volume. Now we did get some volume. Not as high as I wanted to. Not as high as I wanted to, but there was some volume, and I did see some leadership across the board in the tech area. So if you guys could see the tech area, there was some huge volume in the tech sector, which is one of the biggest components of the S&P 500. So there was big volume in the tech sector. So I did like that. The only thing is, if you look at the sectors, so tech has definitely had a really nice bounce. Financials had a decent bounce, decent volume. Also, consumer discretionary had a decent bounce. Biotech, very nice bounce, huge volume. So I really like biotech. Now industrials had a okay bounce. So is healthcare, and materials definitely very weak. Energy weak, staples weak. Real estate investment trust weak, and so as utilities are weak. Now, what I was also looking for in terms of finding the correct bounce was for a inverted hammer like this, and we didn't kind of see that. I mean, this is a little small inverted hammer, but nothing like this size. So I am a little bit cautious about this bounce. Not exactly sure if this is going to be the bounce that's going to take the market to new highs or to kind of reverse the downtrend. So I am a little bit concerned about that. So what was the news all about today? So if you guys remember last week, Donald Trump announced tariffs in China, $60 billion tariffs in China on Thursday, March 22nd, which was this day. You see this daily candle. So it was a sell-off. Friday, China retaliated and put on a news report that they were going to retaliate and do the same thing on imports from U.S. Exports that go to China. And again, we had a huge sell-off. But today, there was some news regarding negotiations between the U.S. and China to kind of ease the markets. So I'm going to go over that article. So what really happened, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin said he was optimistic that the United States and China, if you guys can see this, could avert a trade war, which is important because that's really, really good because you guys remember the whole reason why the sell-off on Thursday and Friday was because of fear of trade war. Now, Treasury Secretary actually was in Fox News on Sunday. Now, and he mentioned, we're having very productive conversations with them, of course, referring to China, and I'm cautiously hopeful we reach an agreement. So he did appear on Fox News on Sunday talking about the Chinese terrorists and U.S. terrorists, and also seeing how they could negotiate something that could help both countries. And in today headline news, we do see Dow gains 669 points amid reports trade talks with China. So, there was an article on the Wall Street Journal that reported that the U.S. and China have quietly started negotiating, and that the U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin is considering a trip to Beijing for talks. So that's good. So that eases the market. Again, the main reason why the sell-off was because of again, the U.S. tariffs in China, and then China retaliating by saying that, yeah, they will also do some tariffs. So, of course, the fear of trade war was definitely real. And today the news was about easing the markets, telling them, hey, we're working together to see if we could negotiate something. So hopefully that sticks. If that sticks and the market starts to ease, if there's continuation off this bounce, I'm very hopeful. So we do see continuation, kind of similar to this continuation. If you guys can see this continuation after this lows, they're going to be fine. But we do see some sort of reversal inverted hammer like this, and it starts selling off, and it goes below the 200-day moving average, then I am a little bit worried. And now the good thing is that the 200-day moving average did held, and it did touch it actually. So there are a couple of things that I do like. Is that one, the 200-day moving average did test actually on Friday. You know, as you guys can see, let me show that more clearly. Let me put a 3-month. So you guys can see the 200-day moving average, a very, very important moving average that investors and traders and the big money does look at. So it did test it and it held, and we did see a bounce today. So that's good. That is really, really good. Because if this breaks below this with high volume and it breaks below this 252.92 level, then I'll be definitely very, very worried. So I'm very glad that, you know, Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin came in news and talk about, you know, they're working with China to kind of negotiate something to kind of ease fears in the market, because trade war is not good for business. It's not good. Everybody ends up losing, to be honest. So hopefully something is negotiated to help to have a win-win situation for both countries, the U.S. and China, because that's really the only way. That's how businesses work. You know, when you do a business deal with any country, there has to be a win-win situation, because if there's no win-win situation, then there's going to be an issue. Nobody wins, you know, in a trade war. I guess, like I mentioned, nobody wins in a trade war. So now what we're really looking is to see this continuation. Is this level going to hold? So far, the tech sector, which is the biggest sector in this S&P 500, looks really, really good. And the FANGs are leading. You know, if I go over the FANGs, you know, which is Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google, are leading, except Facebook. Now, Facebook, obviously, because of the whole, you know, privacy data breach with, you know, Cambridge Analytica and all that. But there was a huge bounce in Netflix and Facebook today, and hopefully that holds. Because if Netflix starts bouncing with the rest of the FANGs, the market could definitely have a nice bounce. Because again, Facebook is a pretty decent sized component of the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. So actually, let me show you guys that really quick, so you guys have an idea. You know, because big stocks like Facebook, because they do represent a large component of the S&P 500, they do move the market. You know, so if Facebook does have a nice bounce, it could help definitely the market a lot. So let's take a look at it and see, you know, what percentage of the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq is Facebook. All right, so let's take a look at that. So again, Facebook and technology sector, specifically application software industry. So S&P 500, so a 1.68% weight in the S&P 500 and a 5.05% weight on the Nasdaq. So it is a pretty big percentage component of the S&P and Nasdaq. So if Facebook moves, if there's a rebound in Facebook and rebound on the other FANGs, then we could definitely see a rally in the market. It could really, really help if the tech leads, because technology right now is leading the market. It's a sector that has the most relative strength compared to all of the other sectors. So very, very important that Facebook does bounce, because that's going to really help out. So Facebook, I know I do see this this bullish hammer, so that's really, really good with high volume. So I do like that. So that's good for Facebook, because that could really help out the market as a whole. So hopefully that continues. Now look at Amazon. Amazon is moving beautifully. You know, holding this higher this level right there, this support level. That's really, really good. Let's look at Apple. Apple, again, holding his levels, almost going above his 50-day moving average, and it held his 165 level, so that's really, really good. Now let's look at Netflix. Netflix is close to all-time highs again. So again, there's a lot of relative strength in these FANGs. So that's really, really good in the and I guess in the tech sector. Now let's look at Google. So Google looks kind of nice too. We do see a bullish hammer, so that's really, really important, similar to this bullish hammer. So hopefully we do get continuation of that. And again, if the FANGs move again, that's going to move the Nasdaq, because there are a large percentage of the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. And again, we did see a pretty nice volume, so I do like that right here. Volume, bullish hammer, that's good price action. Again, it tested the 200-day moving average, went below and above, and it looks is running. It didn't go below the 997, so that's really, really good. So there's things that I do like about it, and that's the tech sector. So I definitely like it. Now, another sector that's related to China, the emerging markets ETF. There's a lot of Chinese companies, ADRs that trade in U.S. Stock exchanges, and we did see some strength today. So I did like that. So this is the emerging markets ETF, where a lot of ADRs or Chinese stocks that are listed in U.S. Stock exchanges do trade. So there was a bounce, which is nice. And if you look at Alibaba is a huge company. There's a Chinese company, but again, that's traded in actually U.S. stock exchanges. It did have a nice comeback. It went above the 50-day moving average. So it's nice. It's really, really good because it's creating higher highs. See that? Higher low, excuse me. See this? Higher low, higher low. So that's good. I like that. So now what we're seeing is continuation. So if this continues to trend up, we may see all-time highs on Baba as well. Again, a Chinese company. So it looks like that article that went on the Wall Street Journal and Steven Mnuchin's talking on Fox News, easing those tensions about a trade war did really help out because again, a lot of investors are worried about that because, again, a trade war is not good for business. It's not good for any country, actually. It's really bad for businesses, consumers, for countries, investors. It ends up hurting everybody, to be honest. So hopefully they're able to negotiate. And again, Steven Mnuchin did say that he's planning on, like I said, he's considering a trip to Beijing to talk, to meet, some of the regulators that regulate trade in Beijing to kind of figure out something, negotiate something. So hopefully that works out, and when that happens and we do see something good, because again, a trade war is not good for anybody. So hopefully we're able to work something out. All right, guys, so hopefully you learned something about this video. Again, we're watching those levels. We're watching hopefully continuation, very, very important. Again, we don't want to see a reversal. We want these levels to hold. And if it does, and we could see a slow and upward trend with high green volume or high positive volume, then I think this could be the bounce. So hope you guys learned something again, guys. This video is for learning purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. Do speak with a registered financial advisor if you plan on making investments or any trading. All right, guys, have a good one.